again everyone, it's Mel at Stocksbridge Guitar Tech. I've had a guitar brought in for some work doing to it. So it's this Harley Benton SC-450. Haven't had a look at it yet, I've just plugged it in. He says he's got some string buzz on it, and he's also saying the switch is working intermittently. So I'm going to have a look and see what I can do for him. Look, let's just have a listen at it. The switch seems to be working fine, but I'll have a look at it anyway for him. So let's... Oh, that's bad. So we've got a bit of rattle on one or two of the lower strings, but the main one is that high E. The first thing I've noticed just looking at this is the action is ridiculously low on it. So I'm wondering if he hasn't been tinkering with the Truss Rod, because that does look really low. So let's have a look at the neck. Yeah, no relief whatsoever. No relief in that neck at all. If anything, we've got a little bit of a forward bow going on. So it looks like someone's been playing around with the truss rod. Stuart, don't do that. That's really bad. Could be a nut problem. No, actually. I think I've spotted the problem there. This first fret has popped up, so it's standing out on that high part there. If I press that down, if I can. So that's a problem there, but the nut looks like it might be cut too low as well. So it may need a shim putting on it or a new nut. So I'm going to take it over to the bench and we'll take some measurements, and then I'll try and sort that fret out first of all for him, and then we'll take it from there. Let's go and do some work. First thing I'm going to do is remove the strings, and then I'm going to try and knock that fret back in. If that doesn't work, which it probably won't, I'm going to have to glue the fret, and then using the correct radius I'm going to clamp that down, and I'll have to leave it until it's set in. But we'll try the hammer first. Just realised he'd wound that top E string on the wrong way around, which is why it snapped. He's obviously replaced a single string. Never a good idea when you're changing strings it's a good idea if one breaks to change them all at the same time. These strings feel really old, so I think I'm going to put him a new set of strings on as well. So before I do that, I'm just going to loosen that truss rod off and try and get some relief into that neck. The neck's also really dry, so I'll lemon oil that for him as well. Okay, so I've got the correct Allen key for the truss rod. I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to loosen this off quite a bit because there really was no relief whatsoever in that. As you can see, the nuts just popped off, so that wasn't glued in very well. Could also be a reason why he's getting that string buzz. So let's set that on one side. So now let's have a go at knocking this fret down. So I've got a tool here for doing this. It's got a groove in the end of it and it's brass. Well, that looks a little bit better, but I'm not convinced it's gonna hold. Just do it right on the end. Yeah, that's still sticking out a little bit, so I'm going to get some glue. I'm going to pull that fret back up, get some glue underneath it, and then clamp it down using this 12-inch radius board and leave it for a few hours. So that's just popped up very easily. Just got my fingernail under it. So I've just put the slightest bit of glue on there, and now I'm going to get a clamp and clamp that down, leave it for a few hours, and hopefully that's that problem solved. So that's had a couple of hours. Take that off now. That looks better. Yeah, that's much better. As you can see, I've glued the nut back on. So I'm going to oil the fretboard for him now because it looks really dry. So I'm just going to put some lemon oil on there. Remember to always spray this onto the rag, not directly onto the fretboard. Just let that soak in for a minute or two. So I'm going to put in some new strings on here. Now I'm hoping this nut's going to be alright, but I've got a feeling it might be too low and I might end up fitting a new nut for him. I've got a bone nut blank here to cut just in case I need to do that, but we'll see how we go. I have reshaped the nut, cut it more on the back, so hopefully we'll get a bit more of a downward break angle on the strings because they were quite flat and straight before, and that might just cure the problem with the truss rod adjustment I've done. And I'm going to raise the bridge as well because the action was really low down at this end as well. It was too low. So by the time I've done all those things, the guitar might actually be okay. If not, I'll have to put a new nut on at this end, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got a fresh pack of Ernie Ball slinkies, 10 to 46, that I'm going to fit. Those other strings that were on here were really old anyway, they'd had it. So I'll put these on and then I'll come back. So I've just put the two outer strings on to see how they ring in. They seem, well, better than they were. So I've just roughed in the bridge and everything for now. So I'll put the other 4 strings on and then I'll do a setup. Okay, let's see what we've got. It sounds much better than it did. Yeah, plays really well actually. I've pretty much set this up to the same as my gold top Harley Benton. Very similar guitars, they're both SC-450s. I've basically done the setup the same as mine and it seems to be okay, so it's got really nice low action on it now. And we've got rid of that horrible buzz. That horrible buzz that was on the high E strings gone. And the buzz that was on the low E string has gone. And I did think I was going to have to put a new nut on this. I still think the nut's cut probably as low as it's going to go. And I do think it's going to need a new nut on this guitar within the next 12 months or so. But at the minute, it seems to be okay. It seems to be playing okay. So I'll see what Stuart thinks to it when I hand it back to him. But I'm sure he'll be pleased with it. Now, the other thing he mentioned was the switch. He said the switch was working intermittently. I've not been able to replicate that problem. So I think what's probably happened there is he's got a dodgy lead. He's plugged a dodgy lead in, because I've not been able to find any fault whatsoever with the switch on this. Although I did on mine, or I had to replace the switch on my gold top within a couple of hours. So I know they are notable for going these switches, but this one seems fine. So I've had nothing to do there. I've basically just fixed that nut problem, fixed that fret where it had popped out, and then done a setup on the guitar. I've put some relief in the neck because there was none whatsoever. In fact, we'd got a slight forward bow on it, which is never good. That's probably what was causing that buzz on the low E string, where it was hitting the top of the frets where they were higher than the others. So I've put a little bit of relief in the neck now. It's playing great. Sounds great. Yep, so that's finished, ready for him to collect. That's all from me again this week. As ever, if you got anything out of this video or you just enjoyed watching it, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, and if you do subscribe, remember to click that little bell notification. That's all from me today, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.